You are listening to Making It in the Toy Industry, episode number 267.
Welcome to Making It in the Toy Industry, a podcast for inventors, entrepreneurs, and makers like you. And now, your host, Azhelle Wade.
Hey there, toy people. Azhelle Wade here, and welcome back to another episode of Making It in the Toy Industry. This is a weekly podcast brought to you by thetoycoach.com. Today's guest is Courtney Peebles. She is an award-winning toy designer and founder of Solobo Toys, creating expert-backed, inclusive educational toys that grow with every child. With a background in digital media and design and a master's in education in instructional design and technology, she blends design and education to design toys that support diverse developmental needs. As a late diagnosed autistic adult and a parent of two neurodivergent children, Courtney ensures accessibility and meaningful play in every product. Her work has earned recognition in Parents Magazine, Forbes, Toy Insider, The Wall Street Journal, Business Insider, more, even a TOTY win, solidifying Courtney's impact on the future of inclusive play. For today's conversation, one of the topics that Courtney and I are going to touch on is creating products through 3D printing. Courtney didn't start her brand that way, but in our conversations, I found that Courtney said that 3D printed products have actually become a huge profit part of her business. So Courtney, welcome to the show. So happy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So thank you for sending me some product. I'm going to be doing a little unboxing as I ask you questions and we get into it. So I'm excited to do that for this video.
Yes.
To open this interview, I have to ask you to finish this sentence for me. The thing that surprised me most about the toy industry was...
Oh gosh, just how much different toys there are. I know that sounds kind of given, but like when you're a parent, you have a specific set of toys that you like look for your kid. I think everybody's drawn to that. And then you realize how many varieties of toys there are.
Love that. What's like a variety or a category that you didn't know existed that you know now?
Oh my gosh. When I go to Target with my son, he finds just the most random things I've never heard of. Most of it being like monster truck based.
Oh. He has a very specific taste. All right.
He does. Very specific to monster trucks, and even better if it's like a monster truck transformer.
Oh, that's cute. Oh my gosh. I appreciate you coming on this podcast to talk about 3D printing. At the time that we're recording this, we have just learned about an additional 34% tariff being put on to China imports, which is being added to the 20% tariff that was talked about in March. So now we're at 54%. So everybody's thinking about how can I manufacture locally. So I really appreciate that we had already planned to have this conversation about 3D printing and toy design and manufacturing. But before we go there, I do want to give some background and some color on the TOTY award winner that you sent me. So I'd love for you to tell me a little bit about your first product, right? Emotional Baggage. Was this your first product for Solobo Toys?
That wasn't. Our first product was back in 2023. So Emotional Baggage came out last year, 2024. What year is it? 2025. Yes, 2024.
Feel the same way.
I know. Time is flying. But yeah, so when our first toys came out, we really focused on simplicity. And I say I design the toys. But I'm just like naturally drawn to including my husband because he does so much for everything. But yeah, so Emotional Baggage came out last year. The entire point of it is to bring stress relief and just engaging, more active way to talk about emotions. So they are actually plush stress balls. And the bag that they come with, it fits all the balls inside, and it also serves as like a hoop. So you can take it with you wherever you go, but then you can also throw the ball into the bag, and then it also just like closes right up. A big part of everything that I do is storage. I'm really passionate about storage. So I wanted to build in storage into the toy so that parents weren't having to just like struggle with keeping track of all of these stress balls.
Was being a parent the thing that made you passionate about storage, or were you always passionate about storage?
Definitely being a parent. And all the stuff that we had to have and all the extra things I would buy online just for baskets for different things that I needed to keep track of. One of the like newborns, one of the things that they were always like, have a basket for all the things for the bottles and all the pacifiers and all that.
Really?
Like it was like baskets from like day one.
Really? Okay. Love it. And the quality is beautiful. What is this made of? It's like a canvas, but it's lined with a, what is it lined with?
It's canvas. It's a little bit softer on the inside. And then it has, if you pull it up, it has a string closure.
Mm-hmm. But it's lined with like it feels like there's almost like a cardboard or
it's definitely more of like a thicker canvas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Love it. Okay. So this item in 2025 won Plush Toy of the Year?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that was a huge deal. And honestly, they told us in advance, they were like, you have to come to the gala because you're nominated. So I knew we were nominated and I was like, oh, okay, that'll be fun to go. I was not prepared.
Wait, so they just told you were nominated. They didn't tell you won.
Oh yeah, no, they don't tell you ahead of time.
Yeah, but they told you had to come.
Yeah, they were like, you have to come. You're required to come. But they like sent it in like a mass email with everybody else. So I was like, okay, it's like everybody has to go.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I wasn't prepared at all. I had gone to the show by myself. We had somebody that was going to come with us. She had to bail at the last minute because of family stuff. So I came by myself, but luckily two of my friends, they came with me to the gala. So at least I wasn't alone at the gala getting that award. They were cheering me on. So that was really nice.
Were you shocked when they called your name?
I was. I thought there was no way I was going to beat out the people in my category.
Who were some of the big names in your category?
We had Spin Master. We had Disney.
Oh my gosh.
We had, I think it's called Just Play. Yeah, we had a ton of really big ones. Like Miss Rachel, the Miss Rachel plush was in our category.
Stop.
Yeah.
You beat the Miss Rachel plush? What?
Yes, I know. I thought for sure that was going to win. For sure? Yeah.
That's like Walmart's biggest product this past year.
Yeah. And I was blown away.
Wow. Congratulations. That's crazy.
You.
That's crazy. And that award, it's not like a general voting consensus. I think it's like the members vote, but then there's an advisory panel, I believe, that also decides. That's so cool. Congratulations.
And so I had a lot of people come up to me afterwards, a few that were from the panel, and they were like, we're obsessed with it. And I was like, oh, it's amazing.
So talk to me about the impact that win has had on your business financially and revenue.
Yeah. So it was interesting because, I think naturally people assume that because of that, people are going to be bombarding my booth for orders and all that. But it was actually interesting because we posted about it on social media as soon as we won. And that created a flood of orders to our website.
Just the post?
Just the post.
Wait, direct to consumer orders or
direct to consumer?
Interesting.
Yeah. So I actually had to fly out early from Toy Fair because I knew that Daniel at home couldn't fill all of the orders without me.
What?
And so I was like, I have to go home because, we try to keep a really streamlined process, and we really want to have a good quality, people experiencing, receiving our toys. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to have to get home early so that we can take care of this.
I need to look at this post you posted. What?
Well, so the first post I posted was very simple. It was just like a static post of me smiling with the award.
Mm-hmm.
And then we posted about 4 more posts after that, within the next couple days. But people were exploding our comments and our DMs, and it was incredible.
Tell me some of the conversations that were being had in your DMs.
Oh my gosh. It was just people who have been with us from the very beginning, congratulating us and telling us how much the product meant to them. It was some people who already had emotional baggage, and they were coming and saying this, I have people tell me often, this toy has changed my life.
Really? How so?
Great example is we have a lot of therapists that use our toys, and they're it's changed the way that therapy has been for some of the kids.
Wow.
It's engaging and they love it. And then we have families who are this is something we can all do as a family. We can all play with this. We can all throw it in, or we can play dodgeball. Or somebody told me that it was an amazing family experience that they had with just one evening was playing with it.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sending me one. I just want to bring some more color to the posts that you post, because sometimes people hear these stories and it sounds like such a big, far off dream. So when you first posted your plush toy of the year that you won the award, the picture of you accepting it on stage, it looks like you have 56 likes and about 5 comments on that one. Then the proof that the underdog can win real, 106 likes, 27 comments on that one. Had to leave our toy show early, clever little post. That one had about 69 likes, 9 comments. Then we have you holding the trophy, 75 likes, 12 comments. And then further, I love how you did this, an announcement talking about how you've been overloaded with orders since the award win. And then you gave a discount code and told people if they use that code, you're gonna ship their order by a certain date. And that did really well. That one had 135 likes and 12 comments. So I say all that to say, like, you know, if you're thinking like Courtney had like 1,000 comments or something, like, and to get all these orders, like, no, like this is a regular person doing a regular thing and like made a big splash from this win. And congratulations, that's so huge.
Thank you. And it's like, you know, I completely agree with you. I think people underestimate the power of like just like community and like the power of like sharing, because like pretty much all the people that were commenting on it shared it. And they were like, this is something that happened for Solobo. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's great. So huge congratulations. How long have you been doing this?
Yeah. So we started in the end of 2022. Our first toys hit the market March 2023. So the first 2 toys that I designed one of them was called the Emotions Coin Drop. And then the next one was the Learn and Drop. So both simplistic wooden toys manufactured overseas. And the Emotions Coin Drop was featured in Forbes within 3 months.
Wow.
That one is still very, very popular. It's just like our staple toy that everyone goes to. Learn and Drop is definitely a popular one, but it also hits very much for like homeschool families and teachers.
And how did you get that visibility? Did you tend to have media contacts or did you just pitch at the right time to the right place?
Yeah. So at the time, I didn't know anybody. Nobody. Okay. So this PR company reached out to me and they were like, we can just do some outreach for you. And I was like, okay, I've never done anything like this before. So I did like their lowest package possible. And the person that they reached out to really loved it. So they picked it up, and that, like, we didn't even know about it until about a month later. We started getting all this traffic to our website and we're like, that's crazy. I don't know where it's coming from.
That's hilarious.
And so then we found out about it later.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Sometimes I get moments like that. And I'm like, where are all these people coming from? There was a moment like 2 months ago and I was like, well, I don't know what happened, but
I know.
I wish I could figure it out. Yeah. Your prices are really great too. I have to say your prices are pretty on par with mass companies, which is hard to do when you're a small startup. So in talking about that, can we talk about 3D printing? So what country do you primarily produce in right now?
So up until the end of last year was China. All of our factories were in China. When we heard about the potential tariffs, so like this company is everything that we have. This is how we pay for our kids' food. This is everything. We knew we couldn't just wait and see. We had to get ahead of it. I was actually really, really, really apprehensive about 3D printing just because it was something new I'd have to learn. And I was like, well, I'm already doing so much. I'm working like literally nonstop. I work at night when my kids go to sleep. And I was like, I'm going to have to do this. And my husband was like, no, but like, it'll be good. And I was like, okay, if you say so. So we ended up ordering the first printer. So when we got it, I messed around with it and I started learning more and watching videos and how-tos. But before we did anything, we got it safety tested because we wanted to make sure that the material that was coming through the printer was safe. So we went through that process.
Well, slow down. Let's back up a little bit. I have 2 questions. One, why did you go right to, I'm going to 3D print whatever toys I can and not to let me find another country to create my product in?
There was a lot of talk about the tariffs not only applying to China. So we knew, like, number one, factories that we have in China are very experienced in what they do.
Right.
So we knew that we'd have to start from scratch and find all of that all over again. And that's really not like simple. Because you have to go through sampling and everything. And we knew that it was coming fast. So we were trying to turn around something faster.
So the toys like this plush, like your wooden toys, are those still things that you have overseas? And now you're just creating new products with the 3D printer?
So for emotional baggage, we are exploring ways to manufacture it in the States. There is some possibility that we could pull it off because it is simple. The wooden toys that we have, there's actually wooden infused filament that you can use in a 3D printer.
No.
Yeah. So we're
Interesting.
experimenting with that and seeing if it's something that is just, as good of a replacement as possible for our wooden toys, especially after the news today with the tariffs.
Right.
It's looking less and less like it makes sense to do overseas productions.
Okay, so now moving on, you decide, all right, let's look into 3D printing. You said you safety tested the printer. Are you saying you safety tested the first batch that you ran from it, or did you actually safety test the filament? Like, what exactly did you do?
Yeah, so we are registered as a small batch manufacturer. So we have to follow the guidelines set out in that until we hit, I think it's 1.4 million in sales of the product specifically. Until we hit that point for those, we're following those guidelines. So basically what that means is we have to determine and test that this materials that is coming from the printer is safe. So it's not just testing the filament as it is in a spool, it's testing it once it's out of the machine. So we did a batch and we sent it like of different colors and we sent it off to the lab to make sure that everything passed. And then we became very well versed in different tests that are required for different like age ranges.
Yes.
Yeah, so we do like drop tests and we make sure, but as a general rule of thumb, because this is newer, we don't recommend it for any children under the age of 3, just for choking hazard if anything were to happen. We put a lot of warnings on things to make sure people are very aware, like, while this is durable, 3D printing is relatively new.
Right. So I want to recommend small batch manufacturers. It's something you can register for with the USCPSC.gov. I actually detail this in a guide I have called the Toy Safety Bundle. So go to learn.thetoycoach.com/safety. But what's interesting, she's right, the $1.4 million number you have to hit, there's also like a unit production number.
Yeah, 7,500 units.
Right. And then basically in a nutshell, though, that standard says that you are responsible for a lot of the testing. And the big changeover once you hit that number is that then you'll have to send everything out to a lab for the official certification. But yeah, that's the big shift. But this is so great. Okay. So let's talk about it. What was the first product that you decided to 3D print? You sent me some wonderful gifts.
Yeah, so that axolotl was the first thing that I designed in a software called Blender.
Yeah.
I've been a graphic designer for years, but I've never like tinkered with 3D CAD softwares before. So that was a lot, but it turned out super cute, and people love it, and it's definitely one of like the most favorites out of like our fidgets that we have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and which is great because
are so in.
Yes, they're so cute.
So hip. And tell me about these little guys that I'm holding up
so
here.
Those are our newest release. Those are the Emotion Friends. So we wanted a way to just like put a figurine to the emotions that we have. You know, in general, like a lot of the toys that we have are simple, but have really rich educational like learning in them. But we also know that kids love like playing with doll houses and playing with figurines. So we were like, we want to just put them to little figures. And I gotta say, so like my kids, like they love doll houses to like a slight degree, but it's not like something they absolutely love. So when we released these, I was expecting them to be like a favorite, but not like so much of a favorite. People have surprised me. They have been selling like hotcakes.
Really?
It has been crazy.
Really?
Yeah, we actually put on our website a discount code for people to wait to ship them. So that
you put a discount code to wait. Please, if you can have some patience, you can get a discount.
Yes, and people are using it, which is really helpful for us.
Oh my gosh, that is such a great idea. So talk to me about how do you price this now? Because it was in some ways easier for you when you would go to a factory, they'd give you a cost, you'd order a unit and you say, okay, I know how much my product costs, I set my retail price. Now you're ordering raw materials. You're spending your time producing it. You have to account for errors if the printer stops midway, power cuts out, right? We don't know. So how are you calculating your costs now?
So first of all, the printers that we use have built into their software pricing for their specific filament. Okay. So when we generate a print, we know how much it costs to print that specific plate, which is so helpful for a starting point. Okay. And then from there, we calculate in the like additional costs like packaging and just like materials that we would need to use to actually execute the like start to finish it getting to a customer. So we actually price it a little bit higher because right now we don't buy filament in excessive bulk. We buy it based on what we need. We're actually going through an expansion plan in the next few months. When that changes, we'll actually be able to bring our prices down a little bit because we'll be able to buy our filament in bulk.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. So you're doing an expansion. How long did it take for you to launch your company for it to become the sole income source for your family? Or the main, I should say the main. I don't know what else is going on in your life. Is it the primary income source for your family?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I want to say it was like the end of 2023 maybe that my husband quit his job. I was a stay-at-home mom.
Wow. Look at you doing things.
Yes. And he worked from home. So that was obviously convenient. But it got to the point where we just couldn't handle both.
Interesting.
And it's actually kind of a sad story. I worked myself so hard and so much that I actually got a kidney infection.
I've done that. I did that.
It's really, really not fun.
And then you're working. Tell me if this happened to you. Cause I was like working through, I just thought I was like, had like a pain or something.
Yes.
And I think I felt like hot.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm fine. I just need to lay down. Yes. And I was not fine.
I know. I know. Yeah. It was scary because it was Easter and like the doctor's offices were closing, the pharmacies were closing, and I was like running a fever.
Oh yeah.
And so the doctor I talked to on the phone, he was like, where's your husband? And I was like right next to me. And he was like, can he run to the pharmacy? Like, I will call it in right now. They will have it ready.
Are you serious?
Like, he was like, run, like go to the pharmacy. And so that doctor I'm so glad because I would have had to go to the hospital.
I went to the hospital. Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like that doctor saved my butt.
Oh my God. I think my partner at the time saved mine because I was not going to go to the hospital. I was like, no, I just need a nap.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm fine. Totally fine.
Exactly. I'm the same way. And I was like, it'll be good. It's funny. I tell this story like sometimes. I sound pitiful, but no. So my second son was born in 2021. Yeah. And then 6 weeks later, you're going to your typical 6-week checkup. I get home that night and I started having this really bad pain in my stomach and I was so nauseous. And I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And so I told my husband that I would eat a piece of pizza in the shower to see if I felt better.
No.
Turned out I had to have my appendix removed.
Oh my gosh, stop. We're so similar.
Yes.
We're so similar.
He called my dad and he was like, you need to get her and take her to the hospital now.
Are you serious? Why pizza and why in the shower? And what?
I don't know. I was like maybe thinking it would help me feel better. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I'm a kidney cancer survivor, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I first had the pain, I went home because it was so painful. And then the next day I was like, I just need to exercise more. So I like went for like a 3.5 mile run.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, maybe I should just go to the doctor just to see what that pain was the other day.
Oh my gosh.
And it was kidney cancer. So.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
No. But no, I'm a similar way. I'm like, I'm strong. I can do anything. It's like, Jesus.
I can eat pizza and get away with not removing my appendix.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. Like wild behavior. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh man, but when you're laser focused on like what you want to do in your life, sometimes it's easy to forget. Also, I feel like I don't know, we seem like a similar age. I feel like you come from, or you still feel like you're in your 20s. And you were kind of invincible then. So you really think you're like, everything's fine. Like,
I know.
Okay.
I'm like, all is good.
Yeah. I just need pizza and a shower. I just.
Yes. Pizza in the shower.
Pizza in the shower.
Reason.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. I would love to talk a little bit. I mean, I'm sure so many people are going to have questions about 3D printing. How many 3D printers do you have right now?
We have 5.
Wow.
Our expansion plan will put us at 41.
41?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to hire a team?
So, no, that's the thing. These printers don't require us to do a whole lot, which like it requires us to take out the print and like put in the new stuff and like that kind of stuff. But in general, they're pretty easy to just let them go. We are bringing on investors to help us kind of make that shift. We definitely don't have the money to buy 41
That is a
ourselves.
lot. I was going to say, like, what okay.
Yeah. So we've been talking with investors for the past 2 months, and we're narrowing in on one that we should know pretty soon.
Good luck. I hope that works out. And so I know sustainability is also a key focus for your brand. How does 3D printing align with that commitment to eco-friendly practices?
Yeah, so it's actually really nice because there's a significant less amount of waste. So like, okay, so if we're using a printer that we have to switch the filament, it produces something called, people call it filament poop. But it's basically just like in the switch. So we can actually turn around and recycle that into different products. Now, we don't recycle it into the toys, but we recycle it into other things, because it's like once it goes through the printer and you're putting it back into something, it doesn't make it comfortable for me for all those extra layers to be something that it's not as streamlined. So, but you can take it and actually melt it back down and make like coasters and stuff like that. So it definitely helps remove that level of waste. But in general, we aren't producing an excessive amount of product and sitting on it. We're producing what we need. And I think that is definitely a big difference, because when we produce overseas, we have to meet our minimum quantity.
Right.
We have to import it all. We have to, if there is errors, then we have to discard that toy. There is a significantly less room for error in these printers, which definitely helps reduce waste.
What percentage of your product assortment now is 3D printer versus something you're making with a factory?
We're reaching like 75% 3D printed.
What? No way.
We've introduced 40 3D printed products.
And are they, like, people are enjoying them just as much?
Oh, yeah. If anything,
Really?
like we did a test of our emotions coin drop is wood, and our coins that are associated is wood. We actually did a test with our customers, and we were like, which ones do you like better? Our 3D printed coins that are literally the same thing, except they're 3D printed. The material feels a little bit differently. I was like, or do you like the wood? And everybody has said they like the 3D printed, which is interesting, because a lot of them are moms who are used to like wooden toys, like that's their thing. And they were like, we love it so much more.
So talk to me about the margin difference. Are you able to make a better margin doing this on your own with the 3D printer?
Hands down. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Fantastic.
And that has been a big part in our expansion plan, and showing investors just how much we save. Like if you're talking about like financial projections, like our financial projections with our overseas productions doesn't really yield a profit as strongly. But if you turn around and switch the projections to our 3D printed products, our profit margins are much better.
So where did you find the 3D printer you decided to move forward with? How did you know which one? There's so many out there.
There is. I actually have a friend of mine that I met through Solobo, through Instagram. She does 3D printing. It's called Chomper Champs.
Champs.
Yeah. So she's a speech language pathologist. She does 3D printing of this dog. She does a dog and a cat now that is basically a speech therapy tool. I reached out to her, and I was talking to her for a couple weeks. I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to get into this. Like, it sounds like it's a lot of stuff to learn. And she was like, honestly, just like try it. Like, see what happens. Like the printer that we bought was like $600.
It was only $600?
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy.
Wow.
And so we were like, I think I bought it on sale. They were having a sale, and I was like, yeah, let's just try this. So she was a big part in us starting, because she was just like, you just never know. Like, you could create anything. So that was cool. And I still talk to her regularly, and we kind of just like, if there's something going on and we need to just like pick each other's brains like we do. And so that is really nice.
Tell me about this 3D printer. I might want to get one. Which 3D printer is this?
Yeah. So this is Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Yeah. So they're just fantastic. So we use their filament and we use their printers. And
it is not $600.
Yeah, I think their prices went up a little bit.
It is $1,400.
Yeah. So we have the P1S, and then we also have an X1, but then we're also going to be expanding with their new printer that they just released called the H2D.
Oh, wait, the P1S is $649.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one is not bad. They're like structurally, like I really don't feel like there's that significant of a difference between the P1S and the X1. There is something called LiDAR that is, it's like a tracking if there's like filament errors, but we're here with the printers, so it's not that big of a deal for us right now. But I mean, we pretty much took it out of the box and printed something that day.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says on their site. Like 15-minute setup time, print right now. Are you ever concerned about the toxicity of the filament being heated and going through the machine?
I'm not worried about it because we got the testing done. Like that was my concern.
I mean, for yourself.
Oh.
Like, yeah, for like the room you're in right now.
Oh, no. So they're fully enclosed.
Okay.
So there's like one little vent at the top that does go out, but we actually upgraded our filters so that they're like there's more filtration, and it actually goes through like multiple like chambers and like carbon and all this. And then we also have like air purifiers.
Okay. No, but this is all very good detail. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so great. Do you feel like 3D printers might be the future for the toy industry for those people that want to move some production into the US?
Yeah. So honestly, I feel like people are hesitant of 3D printing, and I feel like they underestimate it. In these conversations that I've had with investors, I'm like, you don't understand how much this is beneficial to our business.
Right.
Like obviously if they start to see the money, they're like, oh, right.
They're
okay.
like, we get it now.
They're like, all right.
Money.
But it's so like, it's such a foreign idea to them that it's like, wait, like we've had people be like, you're not going to be able to scale with 3D printers. And I'm like, you don't know these 3D printers.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can turn around things so quickly.
I should ask that. I'm sorry. You're giving me too many questions. How long does it take to make your little set? Because you must have like a printer set up with each color, or are you like, is one color coming out of one printer? So
yeah. So we have, for those specifically, the Emotion Friends, we print 14 of them on a plate.
Okay.
We print per color so that everything that, like, if you see the AMS behind us, that is basically where the hub of all the colors. You can actually print up to 24 colors. So some of our prints are, I think the most that we've used in a print before is 8 colors. So we actually hook up additional AMSs to a machine in order to print things that are several colors. And so that print specifically for like one plate of 14, let's say for Happy, that takes about 10 hours. Now, the new printer that just came out, our printer time is going to go down.
Wow.
And it's a bigger like capacity. Now, another great example is our Emotion blocks. They actually print 35 on the plate.
Oof. Okay.
So we can turn around way quicker on those. And like batch printing is really the key. And fitting as much as possible.
I was going to say, like designing to the plate. So, this is so exciting. This is exciting stuff. But okay, I look at your friend Chomper Champs. Yeah. And the character she has looks more rounded. Do you have the ability to do that? Like talk to me about the limitations. Like I can still see with the 3D printing, we can see like the ridges from how it's building in layers. In her champs, at least in the images I see here, I don't see that. So I want to talk a little bit about the detail that you can get and what you think you're going to be able to do in the future.
Yeah. So there's a couple different ways you can go about it. People actually like the texture of our 3D printed stuff.
Sensory.
Yeah. It's a sensory feeling. It's like the tactile. And people also like that on the back side of it. It's like that textured feeling.
Yeah.
So we actually print on a textured plate, which is how we get that effect.
Okay.
And so there's like a difference between a textured plate and a smooth plate. The reason why we don't do a smooth plate is because to get the best adhesion, you should use glue, but we haven't safety tested to use glue. So we're not going to even hit that until that's something that we need to do. Once you add that extra layer of something, you have to get everything retested. Yeah. And so we're very, very cautious about that stuff. But it's crazy to me, like how much you can customize the printer settings to get the effect that you want. So you can actually change like the layer of the height of the filament. You can change it's pretty crazy how much you can change. And so it actually like really affects like the outcome of the print. So you can print things that like people can print like vases and it can go like up and then go in. It's just really about how you structure it. We have things that are printed that the axolotl that you have is a great example. If you look at it, the little, what is it, the fins in the front, like the little ears underneath of it, it kind of goes and builds on like an overhang.
Yeah.
But it builds fine because of the way that we structured it.
Interesting.
People use supports. I don't like using supports as of now because it adds an extra layer of complication and you have to take all the supports off and it's just like a lot of like extra work that you have to do. So in general, we print without supports.
You're trying to streamline again.
Yeah. Making it as smooth as possible. Yeah.
How long did it take you to learn how to do this?
Oh gosh. Actually, it only took me a weekend.
Really?
My husband is fantastic and he's literally such the best husband and the best dad because he was like, no, I got the kids. Like you just knock it out. So I just like was up in the office, just getting it all done. And he was like, it's amazing. And I don't know. I have such a photographic memory that I can look at things and then like duplicate it. Yeah. So I looked at different techniques about how I could basically mold it and put it all together. And I actually last year, I like took some time to like really get back to like original like art concepts of like how to build and like sculpt. So that actually came in handy that I did that last year just for like kicks.
Wait, so all these different pieces in her vertebrae they're actually 3D printed together. They weren't glued.
Nope. They were all 3D printed together.
Wow. Yeah. Cause I'm like looking in the inside now and I can see the filament. Yeah. Like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's all 3D printed in place, and that's the thing. Wow. It's like we don't have any extra stuff that we have to do afterwards.
Oh man, that's amazing. And it's just gonna get you to design smarter. Like that's like, wow. Okay, let's go back on track because now you just took me. I just went all of our talking points out the window, but it's
interesting.
Yeah, so interesting. Okay, I'd love to talk about marketing and selling 3D printed toys a little bit more in depth to wrap up our conversation. You said 3D printed toys are relatively new to many consumers. So what did you have to do to educate your consumers about this product so that they would invest in it and try it out?
Yeah. So leading up to that, in general, we talk to our customers about safety a lot. And we talk to them about how our products go through consumer product safety testing. I actually have talked to quite a few small business owners who didn't know they had to do safety testing.
Oh my gosh. I meet them all the time. And I'm like, oh,
it's so scary.
Yeah.
So we try to educate our customers in general about what that is so that they know to look for that in toys. Right. So we told them in advance that we were going to be exploring 3D printing, but we weren't going to release anything until we went through all the safety protocols. So they knew that it was something that we were experimenting with and they were like curious about it because it's new and it's different. So once we started like actually showing them what could be done and showing them like how the printers work and like that kind of stuff, like they were like really like in it. They were like, I want to try this. I want to see what happens. And we really like asked for their feedback. Like one of our toys, we came up with a 3D printed version of it, that one of them that's a wooden toy. And we were like, what do you guys think? Like, tell us what you think. And so we really tried to make it interactive and really get their feedback.
Yeah.
And when I say that, it's all on Instagram. Like our community is mostly like on Instagram, and having their feedback and having like their sort of like buy-in really kept their interest.
Yeah.
We also did a lot of giveaways. So we gave away, I think total, we probably gave away 150 3D printed products, just so that people could feel it and like have it for themselves to then decide, okay, yes, I want to actually turn around and buy this.
That's so interesting. Wow.
And our 3D printers have built-in cameras. So people love
to watch it.
To watch it, yeah.
So one of the things we often talk about in the toy industry is like how having a product pipeline is so important. Like a plan for what's your next product next year. People always want to know what's new. So because you don't have the minimums that you were limited with when you're working with a factory, I'm assuming it's a lot easier for you to say, oh, you know what? We're going to update the faces next season, or we're going to give them new outfits, you know?
Yeah.
So do you already have plans for that? And have you enjoyed that? Have you been able to experience that joy already, where you get to experiment more, elevate your products more, change your products more, because you're literally creating what you need to sell as you need to sell it?
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's less guessing. Like we're not like hoping that we're going to hit a trend like a year later, we're like hitting
right.
it right there.
Right.
And that is huge because I mean,
Yeah.
there are some major companies, you see interviews and they're like talking about how they're planning years in advance.
2027. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, we're like doing it in real time. We're getting feedback from people in real time. We're seeing what people are interested in and we're adapting our toys based on what they're looking for. It's all happening fast. And that is really what sets us apart because we can turn around and do a toy now instead of waiting 2 years.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Oh, you were just inspiring, I'm sure, me and other listeners.
Yeah.
Inspiring. Yes.
Yes.
Love it. Real quick, talk to me. Say if I went to get the printer today and say I had an idea for a 6 set of these little figurines, like not these, but this little toy coach figurines or something. I want to talk about the investment to make your first prototype or maybe even make your first small run compared to doing that with like a factory.
Yeah. So let's take our Emotion Friends, for example.
Yeah.
So I designed it in Blender. That's the software that we use. And then the filament cost, I mean, it's like you buy a spool and the spool will last a while. So let's take the silly one, for example. The silly uses green, pink, black, and white. So we basically have those 4 spools. The spools go for between $20 and $24 per spool. So then you can just you're talking, okay, if you're talking 4, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, like $100 for the filament and then $600 for the printer and then about $250 for the AMS. So you're talking about buying into it for like $1,000 and then turning around and making anything.
Yeah.
I think obviously you have to either know some level of design or being willing to teach yourself. Or you can also look on Fiverr and look on design for designers on Fiverr. But it's like, it's not anything crazy. I mean, our productions overseas, we have to drop thousands of dollars to get.
And you don't
like
know what you're going to get. Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you make agreements, but people have damaged goods arrive all the time. So
yeah. Sometimes there's like, and you approve the samples, but then something gets here and then maybe it's not exactly like fitting fitting what you wanted. And then we've had to get like flashcards reprinted and like, just different stuff that has happened that is a waste of money.
And resources, right? And our resources as a community. This must feel so empowering. I love it. I'm so curious how you got your logo on the back of here. I don't think I've ever seen that before in a 3D print.
Yeah. You know what? I've never seen anybody do that technique. And it's probably because I feel like maybe I created it.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe. I've never seen I just figured it out. Serious effort went into figuring that one out.
Oh my gosh, I just gotta say, she has her logo printed on the back of her 3D print characters. I'm like, how did that? I've never seen that.
And it's fully flat. It prints on the first layer. Yeah, that took some really like tinkering. Maybe I haven't invented that. Maybe people are going to listen to this and be like, no,
we're going to Google
it. Everyone knows how to do that.
Well, if they can comment and let us know. Oh man, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much for the recommendations. And I would love to close with I would love to close and talk about one piece of advice you would have given yourself when first starting. I wonder if it has to do with media and marketing, because I think that's how you got off the ground. But one piece of advice you would have given yourself when starting.
Yeah. So when you go into any business, there's going to be all this information about how you should do things. And I think that it's important to learn those things, but then also know when to break from those things. It's like, I've heard graphic designers say this for years. It's like, the rules and you know how to break them.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing applies to business is the rules. Now, you don't break them when it comes to safety or anything like that. But if you're talking about marketing, you can know the rules, know what to say and know what to do and all these things you should be doing. But then ultimately you have to follow what your customers will be looking for.
Yes.
And in the beginning, I was very much by the book. This is how you're supposed to do things. This is what you should do. And then I just scrapped it all and I just went completely against the grain. And that's how we built such an incredible community, is by doing differently.
Love that. Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm always teaching my students, like in my TCA program, I'm like, okay, now that you learned everything, I want you to do it your own way. Like break it all down, but you do have to learn it first, like that, because you want to know when you're breaking what the repercussions are going to be. So okay, that repercussion is worth it because I know I'm going to get XYZ out of it, or I feel like it's better for me or something. No, that's great advice. And my final and favorite question, what toy or game blew your mind as a kid?
Oh my gosh, Furby.
Furby, really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Furby
and you know
scared
what's funny? I loved Furby, and I actually met with somebody who brought Furby to market. Like he was one of the founding people who brought Furby to market. Yeah. And it like blew my mind that he was even just like talking to me, and he's become like a real, like I call him if I have questions.
Oh my gosh.
And I still can't believe I like get to talk to the person that like, was in the room when Furby was decided.
So oh, it's so sweet. Oh my gosh, Courtney, thank you so much for joining us here today and sharing your insights on 3D printing and toy design and production. I'm sure so many toy creators would have wondered, like, can I really make a toy business doing 3D printing? Well, Courtney's doing it. She's showing us the way. I love it. And doing it safely. Doing it safely,
safety is key.
Profitably, and scaling. It's incredible. Your dedication to this business is inspiring. And was that your kid?
That is my kid. Yes.
That's great. So cute. She's a mom. She's supporting a family with this incredible toy business. And thank you for the Bamboo Lab recommendation for a 3D printer. We will put the link in the show notes. All the links mentioned today, including the toy safety bundle, will be in the show notes. And Courtney, where can people learn more about you and Solobo Toys?
Yeah.
Solobo Toys.
So you can go to solobotoys.com. It's SOLOBO toys.com. Solobo is actually a mixture of my kids' middle names. So that's where the name came from.
I was literally going to ask. Yeah. Cute.
Yeah. But you can also find us on Instagram. That's where you'll mostly find me. If you're looking for to talk to me, either Instagram or LinkedIn.
Yes.
Instagram is where our main community is. So definitely join it.
Yes, join it and check out. I love your posts. It's so real and down to earth, and it's great. If you love this podcast and you haven't already left a review, what are you waiting for? Your reviews keep me and guests like Courtney coming back week after week, and every time a new one pops in, I get notified on my phone. It puts a huge smile on my face. I call my mom. It's a great time. So please stop what you're doing. Leave us a rating and review. As always, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I know your time is valuable and that there are a ton of podcasts out there, so it truly means the world to me that you tune into this one. Until next week, I'll see you later, toy people.
Thanks for listening to the Making It in the Toy Industry podcast with Azhelle Wade. Head over to thetoycoach.com for more information, tips, and advice.